Alright, another day, another peaceful playthrough of Minecraft. I should really check out and see what I have on this one. You know what, now let's just continue our Let's Play. Like, if you guys want me to investigate my old world there... Ooh, kind of forgot about... Whoa, that's a bit of lag. Alright, we're good now, though. If you guys want me to investigate what's on my previous world there from a while ago, I'll happily do it. I've kind of forgotten, actually. Would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? Alright. Just keep going down, see what we can find. Okay, just copper. See, where are we anyway? 29? Okay, we're at gold level. Alright. Ah, there's some iron. I need a lot of that. Probably just stop collecting copper after this, because I feel like we got more than enough. Big vein full of it. Alright. Probably not going to be too overly chatty in this one. Ooh, coal. Like, I know I've already said that once, and I kind of end up being chatty regardless. But, you know... Just I don't really have too much to say at the moment. Well, not too much to say that's very relevant to what's happening on screen anyway. Like, I got plenty to, like, talk about, but, like, not really anything that's relevant to this. But, I mean, hey, it's my channel, it's my video, I can say what I want. I'm not monetized, so who cares? Yeah, since I kind of have to survive off of miscellaneous stuff, and this is more or less just for fun, I do have a PayPal if you want to donate and support the channel. Link in the description as always. Yeah. Also, if you want to do some commission... That's weird. If you want to do, like, a commission or something where I do something for you, that's perfectly fine, too. Like, I can make videos. Like, it doesn't just have to be Breakers related. It can be any game that I have that I should play. Of course, the only ones that you people know for a definitive fact that I own is, Minecraft and Breakers, but... I've also got, let me think. Single-player game-wise? What do I have single-player-wise? I got, Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas. That's the best one, by the way. Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind. I'm a big RPG fan, as you can probably tell. Just from the library alone. That's a creeper. Put this right here. Come on. Okay, you want to play this game, creeper? I guess fences are his kryptonite, I guess. Okay, let's put it down right. There's another one. I hear a skeleton. I thought I did. I hear an enderman, I hear a spider. Just grab all the iron I can. Anyway, what else was I saying? Oh yeah, also I got the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the good one. Don't worry, the good one, not the really awful new one, the original good one. I'm gonna need this eventually. Man, there's so many paths to take. Alright. One topic that I was very invested in earlier today, because I got recommended a little video about it. I'm sure you all know about lost media. I mean, in the modern day, it's kind of hard not to know about that. But, what's a piece of lost media that you would absolutely love to see the light of day? Like, for me, it was the uncensored... Okay. It was the uncensored version of the original 4Kids dub for Yu-Gi-Oh! See, they did a dubbing for Yu-Gi-Oh! That's... Oh! Bastard! You got me good. Okay, yeah, that one didn't really jump me as much, but I didn't really have anywhere to run to. Anyone else want to fall from the fucking sky? Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, the original uncensored version of the 4Kids dub for the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it turns out they were originally just going to make a direct translation, no edits, changes, nothing like that, which blew me away to learn about, because I was like, no way, this is for kids. They ruin and heavily censor everything. But yeah, apparently originally their idea was to just make a direct translation, and that was it. That was all. That's all it was. Completely uncensored. And apparently they recorded the first 12 or so episodes, maybe a bit less than that. Somewhere between 6 and 12. I'm fairly confident in saying it was 12, but I'm not 100% certain. But anywho, and apparently we do have some of it, but not all of it. I think only the first episode has been found so far. Aw, poor Bat. Alright. And, like, honestly, I would love to see that, because, like, it's always been my dream to watch an anime that's just simply accurately and directly translated. Like, with no censorship, no quote-unquote localization, nothing like that. It's just simply the actual real thing, but in English, so that way I don't have to read it, you know? Like, that, I would love that immensely. That would be great. Because, like, I really like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just that the English dub for, well, all of them is just so bad. Like, it only gets worse as you progress. Like, I think the one that was the least awful was probably 5D's. And that's only because the 5D's dub, I don't want to say they took it seriously, but they took it, like, 20% more seriously than they did any of the other ones. Like, don't get me wrong, the original was a bit more serious in terms of how the voice actors were delivering lines and talking and stuff, but let's be honest, they definitely could have... They definitely could have been a bit more serious, and a lot less cheesy. But anywho, what's another good example? Like, have you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? Personally, my personal favorite incarnation of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is a big bat. Wow. Anywho, okay, so I've been here. Oh, I know where I am then. Okay. Like, that's my personal incarnation of it, and, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is, like, it is dark. Like, it is dark. Like, it is disturbingly dark. Ooh. I'm okay. It makes it so difficult for them to, like, censor everything, and, like, they did censor a lot, and they just full-blown cut out a ton of stuff just because they were like, alright, we don't really have a way to realistically, believably censor this, so screw it, just delete the whole thing. At least that's what I think their thought process was. Whoa! It's one of these great big wide open areas, I love these. Here, there we go. And, like, GX gets insanely dark. Like, it's almost absurd how dark it gets and how quickly things get dark. Because, like, GX was, like, originally borderline just slice of life, essentially. It was just card game slice of life. Because, like, most of Season 1 was just either filler, or it was just slice of life stuff, like I said. God, I love it when I find environments like these. These perfectly wide open square areas. This is great. Oh boy. Skeleton directly above me. And what do I mean by son of a bitch? Shoot him. Come on, skeleton, shoot him. Ah. Alright. Gonna have to do this. Am I out of food? I think I am. Crap. Alright. Anyway, like I was trying to say, I'm losing my train of thought here. There we go. Son of a... I wasn't thinking. Anyway, Hold on, I gotta pause here. Let me just pause here. Let me, like, try to regain my train of thought here. What was I saying? Something about Yu-Gi-Oh! And it being dark. Yeah. So, like, Season 1 was almost exclusively filler. Do it. Ah. So hard to pull off. Ah, well. Anyway, it was, like, almost exclusively filler, essentially. And, like, it was just so fun and campy, you know? Like, even when it tried to get serious, when they introduced an actual main plot with the Shadow Riders, it's impossible to take almost any of them seriously, because almost all the Shadow Riders are just so goofy. And they all have really dumb motivations for joining, Kagamaru, I think his name was? I don't know. Like, they all had such dumb reasons. Like, the only one who was even remotely justified was, the vampire, Camilla. Fuck. And, that's only because, like... And even then, when I say justified, I mean, like, okay, you justified why they would be evil. You haven't really justified why they're working with this guy who's, well, not really, but, like, we believe is trying to end the world, right? Like, that's what they all believe he's trying to do. As it turns out, he's not trying to end the world. He's trying to harness the energy or power of the Sacred Beast, so that way he can regain his youth. Stay back, foul beast. Good stuff. I did it. Anyway, so, like, that was, like, the whole, plot when it started to get serious, but it's so hard to take it seriously because all the Shadow Riders were so insanely goofy with only, like, a couple of exceptions. Like, I'm trying to remember all of them, but, like, first of all, one of them, technically it was 5 of them, but, like one of the band of Shadow Riders was, you jump scared me bad, I'm sorry. One of the band of the Shadow Riders was the, Dark Scorpions, like, the actual card spirits. And, like, buddy, that's literally just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Equivalent of the Ginyu Force, if the Ginyu Force wasn't strong at all. Why is he not? Okay. Like, it's literally just the Ginyu Force if they were all talking no bar. Whoa, I had a stroke. All bark, no bite. There we go. Why was that so hard for me to say? Sweet. All these. Alright, you can enjoy being up there. Ooh, Lapis. Anyway, and, like, those guys are so hard to take seriously, but they... What were you doing hiding up there? But they are incredibly entertaining, I'll give him that. They are very, very entertaining. Like, Chaz even took it into his deck, and they just never used them. I think the writers just forgot about them. Which really sucks, because, man, those guys were funny. Anyway, like, that's pretty hard to... It's pretty hard to take seriously. But, like, it just kept getting worse. Like, that wasn't even the first one. I don't remember who the first one was. And, like, the only ones who you could even remotely take seriously... Oh. The only ones you can even remotely take seriously... Oh, cool, a bow. Alright, let me think. Where do I want for this? I guess right here. Usually I put it right here or here, but... Might need the water for something, you never know. Anywho, and, like, the only ones who I could legitimately take serious was, as the English dub called them, Night Shroud, which, this is another gripe I have with the GX dub. They never dubbed Season 4, so it just ended on a cliffhanger. Like the last line in the English dub is just them all, it's just Cyrus crying and saying, like, Jaden, he's gone, as in dead. And then it just cuts to the happy end credit music, and that was it. That was the last bit of GX ever. Like, if you lived in the United States, that's where it ended. Like that's how it ended. Like, we all know Jaden lived when he had to have, because the Bonds Beyond Time movie happened later. Yes, I know it's not canon, but, like, trying to think from the perspective of an American child. And, like, it just ended. It just stops. Because they never dubbed Season 4 for some unknown reason. I say unknown, but I know the reason why. It's because they said they wanted to do 5Ds as soon as possible, so they didn't bother with Season 4, which is like one of the worst fucking decisions you could ever make in anime dubbing. Like, don't just skip an entire season, especially if the previous season ended on a cliffhanger. Like, you just can't do that. I mean, you can, but, like, it's gonna suck. No one's gonna like it. I'm almost out of food, so I probably should focus on getting out of here. Oh no, I just realized something. I never made a... I never made a map or a compass or anything. I didn't even write down where the coordinates to my little desert base were. Uh-oh. That ain't good. Alright, well, I'll find my way out. I always do. Anywho, but yeah, like, with the Shadow Riders, the only one I could even remotely take seriously was Night Shroud, or as he's originally called, Darkness, or was it The Darkness? I don't know. Either way, Darkness was the only one who could even remotely be taken seriously. And even then, in the English dub, it was still kind of hard to take seriously, because he was possessing the guy who was voiced by Sonic the Hedgehog. And yes, he was doing his Sonic voice that entire dubbing, so it's a little bit hard to take seriously. It's like listening to Metal Sonic talk without the filter. Like, if you know, you know. But, like, he could at least be taken seriously, because the only reason he was with the Shadow Riders was to bring about his own goal of, well, not destroying the world, but, like, destroying individuality, basically wiping out mankind, essentially. Not literally, more like putting them into purgatory so they can't die. Like, in his own twisted mind, he was doing something good. But, yeah. There we go. I'll find my way out. I always do. Okay. This is the part where I gotta switch these around. Here we go. Okay, there's some gold. Anyway. Oh, hey, look, an Enderman. Beautiful. You know, there's a lot of clay. I could probably collect that for some brick constructions I could do. Ah, well. For now, though, let's focus on getting out of here, because my inventory's pretty full, and I'm dreadfully low on food. Yeah. Here we go. Whoops. The other Shadow Riders, the vampire Camilla, I think her name was, I could take her seriously-ish. Not in the English dub, of course. You can't take anything seriously with GX's dub, because, like, GX's dub is almost comically bad. And, like, I swear, like, the English dub of GX is just an official abridged series. That's what it is. But, like, in the context of the actual, like, original Japanese version, because, like, it's pretty goofy even in the Japanese version, but, like, Camilla I can take seriously because at least she's actually, like, you know, she's the only Shadow Rider who ever wins a duel, funny enough. All of them lose, and they all suck. No, that's not true. The Amazon also won a duel, but that's kind of hard to... It's kind of hard to say if she actually won, because she did kind of... I don't want to say she cheated, but she did use... I mean, is there anywhere in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulebook that says you're not allowed to seduce your opponent into throwing the match? Because that's what happens. Yeah. Chickens are doing well. Alright, let's go to sleep. So let me think. Like, Camula won twice. The Amazon girl, who I can never remember the name of, who actually turns out to be a fucking tiger. Like, she's just a tiger taking a human form, which broke Bastion's heart. Kind of. I say kind of because later on he's wearing a fucking fursuit of that exact card, which is Amazon as Tiger. Yeah, that guy had problems. That guy had serious problems. Also, he was like, there was a part where, I shit you not, this is real. This is real. This isn't me screwing with you. There's a part where they are talking about, son of a bitch, why a husk baby? Baby zombies are the worst thing that this game ever added, and you can't change my mind about that. Okay, maybe not the worst thing, but pretty high up there. Anywho, there was an episode where they were talking about... they were basically talking about waifu cards. Like, just cards that they're attracted to. And, some of their choices were... yeah. Like, Cyrus had the basic, generic, oh, I like Dark Magician Girl, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Said literally every man who's ever existed. Yeah, okay, bud. You're very basic. I don't recall if Jaden said anything, I don't think he did. Chumley said that he was interested in what was the card's name? The Cure Master. The spell card that just says gain 1,000 life. I forget the name, but, it's the spell card that depicts a really, really not very attractive old lady. Let's just say that one was very odd. Anywho. Alright. Anywho. And then Bastion chimes in, and apparently he's attracted to, I believe the name was Cure Master Pikaru. Now, if you don't know who Cure Master, or not Cure Master, something Pikaru, Princess Pikaru, I don't remember the name, but, if you don't know what Pikaru is, that is a child. That is just straight up a kid. Like, I was very, like, you can make the argument, well, isn't Bastion, like, canonically 16 or something? Isn't that okay? He's a kid, too. And I'm like, okay, listen, he may be a kid, but, like, this card is a kid. Like, this is like telling someone that Anya from Spy Family's your waifu. It's like, no, sir, please get away from me. I'm calling the police. So, yeah. GX was very strange. Even in the original, I was gonna say more serious, but, I mean, well, yeah, it's more serious. Even in the more serious, original Japanese version, it's very odd. I guess coal will go in here, even though it's not a metal. Okay, mob drops, cobblestone. I need some food. Eat that. Delicious. Alright, let's see. Mob drops. The bones. The flesh. Okay. Or the... oh, the farm's not even 100% done. I didn't even realize. I must have run out of seeds. Where's my hoe at? Oh, there it is. Okay. Everything else... probably don't need that much. Let's see. Oh, right, bone meal. Can do that. Raw chicken, I'll probably need to cook that when I'm done with the iron. Also, I'm thinking about upgrading the base a little bit by replacing these wooden fences, especially the one around the animal farm. Animal Farm, that's a good book. Anyway, replacing it... oh, whoops. Wait a minute. Can't have that one be that. Okay, these two have to stay untilled, yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Replacing it with, okay, there we go. I was about to say. Replacing it with some sandstone walls just to help match the environment a little bit. You know. Sweet. Alright. Good bit of food there. Anywho, what else about Yu-Gi-Oh! Can I talk about here, anime-wise? Like, I only, when I was a kid, I only got to watch the original when it was new, and man, that was the coolest shit ever. I I watched GX immensely. Like, that was the one that I really grew up with. Like, I grew up with the original too, but like I wasn't really I don't think I was really all that cognitive enough to really fully understand what was going on. If you catch my drift, I was insanely young, so yeah. 5Ds was like the actual peak. Like if you were a kid growing up in like 2009 and 2010, and I guess 2011 too, but to a much lesser degree, because like that was when things fell off. Like 5Ds really falls off after the Dark Signers arc, but like that was absolute peak. Like 5Ds, Dark Signers, and everything before. Forget what that first arc is called. So I guess I'll just say Season 1 and Season 2, because that's basically what it is. Like, that was the absolute pinnacle. Like, that was the actual coolest shit ever. Man, I'm getting so much sugarcane. I gotta find some leather. Gotta build a nether portal or something, because I gotta get a bunch of leather. Anywho. Yeah. So, like, 5Ds was, like, the coolest shit ever when you were a kid, and to be honest, yeah, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. If I replace my fence, though, like, it'll look better, but can you put torches on stone walls? Sandstone walls? Let me try it. Hang on. Okay, foods. Put that there. Wait. Meats and animals. Right there. Miscellaneous. Yeah. Sandstone. Sandstone. Sand. Wait, wrong one. Here we go. Okay, sandstone wall. Actually, is there a polished version? I'm pretty sure there is. Well, I'll have to find out the hard way. Cut sandstone. No, there is not. Shame. We'll use that for building later anyway, so it's fine. Sandstone wall. I mean, it won't be perfect, because, like, that part right there will be there no matter what. Well... okay, so at least... Alright, at least that works. Alright, I hate to make this so out of order, but I gotta do it like this. And the chickens are getting out, oh well. I'll round them up after this. It's like the nanosecond you open a gate, they just flood out. Okay. Whoops. So used to that. Alright. I'm just doing this because I thought it would look cooler. Well, I know how to lure them back in if they get too far. Anywho. You know, one thing I always loved to do, like a few years ago, by a few years ago, oh god, I'm old. I was gonna say a few years ago, but no, this is longer than a few. Back in like 2014 or 15, something I liked doing was playing Minecraft, and then on my iPod, because I didn't have an iPhone yet, was that I would just listen to SCP readings. Yeah. Why'd I do that? I don't really know, because it's funny, because like in my opinion, SCP has massively fallen off in the modern day, and I do mean massively. I personally am just not a big fan of SCP anymore. Like, I used to think it was, like, really cool, spooky, nice, good stuff, and, like, some of the older stuff still is interesting and cool and fun to learn about, but, Jesus, my chickens have just fled. Going to another galaxy, damn. I don't even know where the rest of them are. Anyway. Like, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons that SCP fell off so much... Hey, stay with me. Dingbat, come on. One of the biggest reasons that SCP has fallen off so hard for me is just the simple fact that damn near every SCP is suffering from OC syndrome. I.e., overpowered as fuck for no reason. And it's like, man... remember when the Hard to Destroy Reptile's biggest selling point was the fact that he was invincible and adaptive? Remember that? Remember when that was his biggest selling point? Well, now it feels like every SCP is just unkillable, unbeatable, and then completely unstoppable. And it's like, dude, calm the fuck down. Like, just stop. like it's a big flaw with modern SCP writing. There's not much quality control. Like, they'll insist that there's a lot of quality control, but there's not. There really isn't. There's too much shit that just slips through the cracks that just is terrible. And just way too over the top. It feels like every SCP is trying to outpower each other. And I really, really hate that. Like, you can have horror without it being overpowered as fuck. It is possible. There we go. Better add these back. Gotta put these back in the right order. Yeah. Actually, wait, I could probably use a couple of these seeds. Hang on. Saw one of the chickens over here. Like most of them just suffer from OC syndrome and are just insanely powerful for the sake of being insanely powerful for, like, no reason. And it's like, man, what happened to the good SCPs? What happened to the, like, ones that were just simply anomalous and unusual phenomenon, items, characters, etc.? And now they're all just the Hard to Destroy Reptile. Like, all of them are unkillable, all of them are unbeatable, all of them are these invincible godlike things that just can't be stopped no matter what. And it's like, fuck's sake, just learn balance. Learn how to write. Parrots and the bats. Alright, that one's just normal. Alright. So I was wrong. I guess they don't hybridize, they just become normal. Fair enough, I wouldn't really expect much from Minecraft, but still, would be cool. Would be pretty cool. Okay, let me think. What now? There's my food. I guess now I can continue clearing out the environment a little bit. Flatten the plains out a bit here, you know. Makes more room to build stuff later. Sounds pretty fun. But yeah, like when you think SCP, what do you think? And don't be basic and say the sculpture, the reptile, and anything else that was in Containment Breach, because I just can't help but notice that whenever people, like, try to, give me examples of SCPs, all they ever do is just regurgitate the list from Containment Breach to me. Like, give me something that's not in Containment Breach, and is not the stairwell. Like, I guess that one's also just so insanely hyped up, you know? And it's like, I kind of understand, because those ones were some of the first ones. Maybe not the first, but, you know, they were pretty early ones. They were the popular ones back in the day. But, like, give me the more obscure and interesting ones, you know? Like, let me give you an example. Have you ever heard of the SCP called a Malfunctioning Destroyer? I think that's what it's called, Malfunctioning Destroyer, something like that. So this is some kind of alien artifact that is generating a planet-sized, horrible, never-ending apocalyptic storm, and it's malfunctioning and broken, and it's constantly trying and successfully repairing itself, and the Foundation is sending out these signals and kill codes that scramble it and make it glitch and just all that other stuff, trying their desperate hardest to stop it. However, it's repairing itself faster than it can be stopped. So as a result, they don't know what's going to happen. They got to find a solution eventually, because sometime within, like, the next 50 years or so, it'll be fully completed again. And what this Malfunction Destroyer really is, it's the reason why Jupiter is the way it is. Yes, it's some kind of alien weapon that was sent, originally was sent to destroy all life on Earth, like several 100,000 years ago, and instead it ended up hitting Jupiter, and that's the reason why Jupiter is the gas giant with all these ginormous storms. You know that red spot of Jupiter? That's the Malfunctioning Destroyer, and I thought, oh, that's fun, that's cool, that's a good idea. It's still a little bit much, but it is pretty cool. Here we go. And like that. Let's see. Like that's a good example. One that's kind of obscure but really cool. What's another one that's a bit more, like, lesser known? Like, I know this one's a lot more known, especially nowadays, but I really liked the Infinite IKEA thing just because it was kind of like a precursor to the Backrooms, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I'm kind of a sucker for liminal spaces, and I don't mean like ooh, scary, like, no, liminal spaces have a completely different effect on me. They make me feel things that just, like, it's not horror, it's not dread, it's nothing negative. It's just they give me something entirely different. I don't know what it is, but that's what they do for me. And it's just like, man, like, I know I'm kind of drifting from subject to subject, but is that a camel? That is a camel. I know I'm drifting from subject to subject, but I'm just trying to... I love how I said I'm not going to be very chatty in this one, and here I am, just going on about anything I feel like, whenever I feel like it. But hey, I'm sure you appreciate it. I mean, especially if you're still watching this far into it. I know for a fact you are probably very invested. But anywho, let me think. What else was I going to go on about? Liminal spaces, I think? Something like that. Like, you know what? I guess I can go into that detail too. Like, for me, the Backrooms have kind of become... what's the word I'm looking for? Oversaturated, I guess? Not oversaturated in the sense that there's too much media for it. Hell, more media about the Backrooms is always a good thing for me, but I feel like the Backrooms have become very, very... how do I describe it? They're not as mysterious anymore. Like, the whole idea of, like, an explorer group, like, cataloging everything is not a bad idea, even if it does kind of give off beta SCP vibes. Although, to be honest, I think the Meg is... the Meg, M-E-G, that's the guys from Backrooms lore. Like, I think they're a million times more competent than the SCP Foundation. Because, like, let's be realistic. How do the SCP Foundation people find out how things work? They just throw death row inmates at them until they, like, notice patterns and shit. That's all they do. Whereas Meg here is way more interested in the preservation of human life. So, you know, there's that at least. But I feel like the SCP, like, lore has just kind of gotten fucked. Especially since, like, I know there's different continuities, and theoretically anyone can make their own continuity about it, just because of the nature of it, and it would still be fine, accurate, and canon, whatever. Which is what I choose to do. I choose to believe in certain other things with those types of lore. But, like, they've gotten so many revisions lately on, like, the one major one that... The one big major SCP continuity being the only one that people really give a shit about. I forget what the exact name is, like, just the wiki or whatever. Like, that's the only one that people really give a shit about. And unfortunately, that's the one that's become so saturated and shitty, because they just randomly started erotiking things that... This is like a perfect hole. What the hell? It's like a meteor hit. That's cool. Anyway, it's like, oh, there's another one. Like, seriously, like, like, they just started eroding everything for, like, no reason. And, like, when you look up the original Backrooms lore, and I mean original, like, not too long after the original image post, and they decided to come up with this idea for different levels and shit. Like, you just can't help but notice, wow, this is so much better in almost every way, shape, and form. Like, let me give you a good example of, like, a random errata they just did for the sake of having an errata for some stupid reason. Level 5, I think it is? I'm pretty sure it's level 5. The Terror Hotel. Like, originally, this was, like, design-wise, it's more or less the same. However, the big major thing that's changed is that originally there were entities in it. However, the entities were different. They acted off. They didn't act like the entities do on literally every other level. Like, you'd encounter hounds that didn't want to eat your face. You would encounter partygoers who weren't, you know, laughing their heads off. Like, every entity in there was acting like they were scared. And they wouldn't even attack people. They would just run away or hide. Like, they were acting like something was after them. Like something was watching them. And, like, that's a big appeal-part of level 5. Or at least it was, till they eroded all this, and now they've eroded it all, and now instead there's probably no entities in it, but it's vague about it, and it's like, oh, there's been sightings, but, like, can't confirm if there is entity count, it must be low, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, that's kind of stupid, but whatever. Why would you get rid of that? And then like they're talking about like how it's possibly a mutation of the of the sanguine festivus plague inside there. And I read that and I was like, the fucking what now? And I looked it up and I was just so fucking like distraught. I was like, ugh, why? They eroded the partygoers from instead being their own collective hive mind of these horrifying beings to literally just being some disease that just makes people crazy. And that's it. Like, we already had a disease that made people, well, it wasn't really a disease, but like, we already had something that just simply made people go crazy in the back rooms. We already had that, and they chose to ruin it, and ruin one of the most iconic entities from the franchise for no fucking reason. And this is the reason why I dropped that continuity. Like, it may be the big major one that everyone likes and pays attention to, but I don't give a fuck. It's shit now. It's fucking garbage now. I hate it. Like, they just keep eroding everything for no fucking reason. And, like, the worst part is, they're not even making good erratas. They're just changing things for the sake of changing it. Like, you have any idea how pissed off I was? Like, even way back when they changed the continuity of level 0. Like, from being this basically infinite maze of infinite possibilities with potentially an unknown amount of entities inside of, like, every variant and whatnot. Yeah, they eroded it to make it be like, oh no, it's just completely empty and dead. There's nothing in there at all. It's just you. Like, even other people can never meet each other. It's just empty. There's nothing there. Like, fuck you. And then they moved everything that was originally level 0 to level 1, and I was like, this sucks. Like, why would you do this? So even with that, I dropped the continuity just because of that alone. But then they just kept changing and changing everything for no fucking reason. And, like, the real mystery is, like, why? Like, especially with the case of the partygoers, like, why? What was wrong with them? Like, why did you change that? Like, they were originally this horrifying species of some kind of collective hive mind of these horror characters that would, as the name implied, like, they were these strange beings that were overly joyous. They used an aesthetic that was, like, reflective of, like, fun children's stuff. And, like, they did it in such a weird and twisted way that it came off as, like... It came off as being extremely, unsettling, because, like, you know how sometimes something can be too innocent looking, or try to look innocent whilst being horrifying, and it usually will result in it being, you know, more, I don't know, more scary for the viewer, I guess. Not really for me. Like, for example, if someone tries to make SpongeBob scary, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. Someone tries making Team Fortress 2 scary, it just does not work. Not for me. It just can't. Like, I know there's the empty server, which I really enjoyed, you know, before it got renamed as Server Blight for some reason. Seriously, why did they rename it? Like, it wasn't even like an official thing. Everyone just started calling it Server Blight for some reason, and then the creator just decided, okay, that'll be its name from now on. Even though the original name of the story was The Empty Server. Which, now that I think about it, even that's kind of a lie, because there were players in there. But anyway, ooh. Ooh, gold. Nice. Come over here in a bit. But, yeah. Like, long story short, I really fucking hate erratas in anything. Like, anytime any continuity gets changed for no reason, like, I fucking detest. Like, sometimes erratas can be, I don't want to say good. Is that a baby squid? When did they add baby squids? Is that a jumbo salmon? What the hell? This is bigger than I remember, and that's smaller than I remember. They added different fish sizes? When did they do this? Interesting. Anyway, like, there are some cases where erratas can be not necessarily good, but understandable or reasonable as to why they had to happen. Like, for example, with Elder Scrolls, with Morrowind versus Oblivion, like, there's some erratas that kind of had to happen if they wanted to continue the, not really continue the series as a whole, but, like, continue it being cognitive. Like, for example, the idea that the entire universe of Elder Scrolls is nothing more than the dream of the Godhead, That got eroded because, well, they probably realized, well, if it's all just a dream, then that means nothing matters, and if nothing matters, there's no stakes, and if there's no stakes, it's hard for players to get engaged, so, yeah. And to be honest, that's an errata I'm perfectly fine with. However, this is an example of something where it's like, does this even count as an errata? And what do I mean by that? What I mean when I say does this even count as an errata is that the Godhead was never something that was 100% confirmed. It's just something that we hear about. And even then, we hear about it from probably one of the most unreliable sources in all of Elder Scrolls history, that being from the mouth of Vivek. Now, Vivek is kind of notorious for being, well, a fucking liar. Like, he says that, oh, I didn't kill Nerevar, what do you mean? No, he fucking killed Nerevar. Sothasil, and Alamexia, they fucking killed Nerevar and skinned him. They wanted the power of the heart all to themselves. Like, they were greedy, they were evil, that's the reason why Azora cursed their whole race. Anyway, so he's very fucking unreliable. So when he said that, oh yeah, all of reality is a dream, that's how he achieved godhood, apparently, because he understood that everything is a dream, and by knowing that all of reality is just a dream, he's learned to quote-unquote lucid dream, and that's why he has godlike power. However, that's just straight up bullshit, because he has his divine powers from the heart of Lorcan, something that he's had to quote-unquote go back to recharge multiple times throughout the eras. So that's kind of proof that he's fucking lying. And if he's lying about something as big as that, well, then that's just kind of definitively, that just kind of paints him as being just a fucking liar, now doesn't it? So, like, that's an example of an errata that's not really, like, you could debate, is that even an errata? Because, like, aside from dropping the concept and stop talking about it, it's not like they just flat out came out and said, like, oh yeah, this was real before, but now it's not. Though, to be fair, I am very glad they eroded that, because, like, the idea that the entire universe is nothing more than a dream, kind of just, it kind of takes away from the stakes, you know? Like, it makes it so it feels like the whole world just doesn't matter anymore. And it's like, why should I care? You know? And that's probably the reason why they eroded, like I said. But, I don't know. Like, I fucking hate erratas, but, like, sometimes they can be good. Like, a perfect example. In Elder Scrolls, it wasn't until fucking Skyrim that each Prince of Oblivion had their own personal realm of Oblivion. And that's so fucking hard to believe and fathom. But yeah, even in the game, that the whole universe, not universe, but, well, the whole dimension is named after, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4. Like, even in that game, every prince just lived in the same, like, hellscape realm. Like, the place you go to in Oblivion, yeah, that's what it all looked like before Skyrim. Before Skyrim, that's what all of Oblivion was. All of it. Every single bit of it. I gotta make a shield. I keep seeing these skeletons, I keep forgetting. I gotta make a shield. And, that really fucking blows, if you ask me. Like, that really blows. There we go, let me get up here. There we go. Like that was just so, like, it wasn't, like, harmful to the series or anything, but it was kind of lame. It was like, oh, this is how it all is? Okay. And then you move on, and you're not interested anymore. And then Skyrim came by, and they eroded it, and made it so every prince has their own personal plane of Oblivion. And I think that's so much better, makes way more sense, and gives them so much more creative liberties to work with. And how each and every prince has, like, their own personalized realm to exist in. And that is so much better in so many ways. Like, I don't even know where to begin with explaining how much better that is. Let me put that over there. There we go. Like, that is so much better. Like, not only does it, like, add more creativity to the whole franchise as a whole, but it just gives it so, like, maybe one day we'll visit these places, and now there's gonna be a reason to... I'm trying to remember, how did this work? There we go. And it's like, maybe one day we'll get to visit these places, you know? I mean, probably not, given how Elder Scrolls 6 is looking like it's gonna be dog water. I mean, adjust myself my chair here. Like, it's looking like it's gonna be really, really bad. Really bad. Like, shockingly bad. Like, how did they even let this happen bad? So, who knows? And unless the series gets sold to someone else, I think this might be the end of Bethesda. Kind of deserved. But, yeah. It's almost nighttime. What do I want to do here? Collect the eggs, I guess. Actually, I can take this off for now. See if I can make some cookies. How do I make that? Was that with wheat and cocoa beans? I think so. Yeah. Anywho, but yeah, back to that. Like that's an example of errata that can be good. But like in general, for the most part, with very few exceptions, I really, hello, Enderman. Hi. You're not supposed to be here yet. Anywho, like there's so many times where erratas are terrible. Like 90% of the time, erratas are bad, in my opinion. Especially if they're random erratas that just exist for some reason. Well, that's a nice little oasis. I mean, can you call it an oasis if there's a river right next to it? But oh well. Like, I just really do not like erratas. Like, I like it when continuities and lore are consistent and don't like change randomly. Like this is a very major pet peeve of mine. Like modern Sonic, for example. Like modern Sonic kind of feels like story-wise, it really just makes me scratch my head and go, did the events of the GameCube-Wii era even happen? Like genuinely, like did it? Because it feels like they're kind of just going back and forth between classic era, and I mean classic, before they even like really figured out what they wanted to do with the franchise, and just whatever else. Like that's kind of what it feels like. Just kind of lighten up the area around here so they don't just spawn right here. You know how it is. Definitely change this up later. Yeah. Let's head to bed. New moon, by the way. Like modern Sonic story-wise, it feels like, did the games that I grew up with even happen? It doesn't feel like it. Like, I'm a huge Shadow the Hedgehog fanboy. Like, I will defend the GameCube game Shadow the Hedgehog to my dying fucking breath, and I will. I fucking will. I will defend that game with all of my honor and all of my power, no matter what anybody says. Like, that's one of the best games in the franchise. That's one of my favorite games ever, and you can't change my mind. But a big thing about it is that I fucking love the story, and I love the characterization of Shadow, and before anyone bitches and says, well, what about the errata they did in Shadow the Hedgehog? Like, in the original, she's clutching her chest and she activates the pod, but in Shadow the Hedgehog, this has been errata to, she's lying on the ground dying, and then the pod sends out later, and I'm like, first of all, that's not really an errata. Like, you can see her clutching her chest. Clearly, she's already been shot. Like, we can just simply, like, that can still work. Like, it would still be a minor errata, but it's like the only errata here is like where she was when it happened. And even then, doesn't really make a difference, because now it's like just a few feet away. Like, I personally don't really... Like, that's an example of an errata, quote-unquote errata, that I don't really care about, because I feel like both work the situation perfectly. Both are perfectly fine with what they're trying to convey and do, and both do their job perfectly. Ooh, that is a nice mountain. Look at that, it's even got a waterfall. Cool. But, ooh, a parrot. Ah, some pigs, excellent. I'll take that, I'll take that, take that. Oh, sheep, nice. Probably try to lure them. Damn it. There we go. Anyway, but like, for the most part, the continuity of Shadow the Hedgehog is actually pretty good, pretty enjoyable, and there we go. And just like, I don't know, man, I personally really enjoy it. Like, I fucking love Shadow the Hedgehog, and no one can ever change my mind about that. This is a cool cave. Not today, thank you. Oh, did he fall? He did. You know what? I'm just gonna back up from this one. Alright. But, yeah. Like, the continuity of Shadow the Hedgehog, story-wise, is just so good, so enjoyable. That is a big ravine. How'd I miss this? Not really deep, but, like, big. How'd I miss this? But it's just very enjoyable to me, and I personally really, really love it. I know there's a lot of confusion with, like, oh, how does the final story, like, which has to be the canon ending, like how does that, like, lead gameplay-wise? And, well, it's kind of up to interpretation. There's hints that all of it are involved in some way, even though that can't be, because some of them are contradictory. But the creator, Mr. Yuji Naka, he insists that the pure hero route is the canon route, even though that doesn't really 100% align with some stuff. Like, for example, that doesn't explain why Eggman has the line where he explains to Shadow, having said what I said about create you, it was all a lie. Like, that only happens in one specific neutral mission. So, like, if that's the case, that means that mission had to have happened. Plus, there's the part where Shadow wonders if he died during the events of Sonic Adventure 2, which happens in the neutral good route. Like, there's a lot of things that has elements from all of them. Like the President being in the gun base, which only happens in the pure evil route. Just Shadow being on the Black Comet at all, which only happens in the neutral evil and pure hero route. Like there's a lot of stuff like that. So it's like, in my opinion, none of them are canon. Like, how he got here, like, what you can do in-game to get there is not canon. At least it's not canon to, like, the story that they're showing you. But the true ending is canon no matter what. And I guess it's kind of just up to interpretation as to how he got there, which is fine. And I mean, hey, if the creator himself, even if it doesn't 100% match up with the events of the game, if the creator himself says, oh, this route's canon, who are we to argue? You know? Personally, I don't really agree that much, but yeah. But let me think, what else was I doing? It's kind of hard to, like, talk about one subject while playing a completely different game and focusing on both at the same time and going back and forth, you know? I'm sure you know. You understand, yes? Anyway. There we go. I think I'm just gonna call it here pretty soon, just because, got some more stuff to do. Actually, what time is it? Alright, it's starting to get a bit late. I gotta... Not really late at night or anything, it's just like, ooh, well, it's getting around that time, I better get moving, you know? Next time I get in here, I'll probably explore that crevice over there. So let me point myself toward it. Ah, do I have enough food, though? Let me grab some food first. Grab some food, then I'll save and quit. Just that way I don't do anything stupid, like try to go in there with barely nothing to my name, you know? There we go. Put that here. And now we just wait for this. Wait for the pork chops. But, yeah, like, overall, I just absolutely love Shadow the Hedgehog. And, like, the story and continuity is really good. So, like, when later modern stuff kind of eroded it, especially Shadow Generations, like, Shadow Generations genuinely pisses me off. Like, you can say whatever you want about positivity with it. I personally detest it for the story alone and how it eroded and changed everything I grew up with for no fucking reason. Even though the continuity was perfect before this. It sucks, man. It really sucks. But anywho, like, and I will say this. The ending of Shadow the Hedgehog, while not 100% accurate, it still hits different. Just after saving the day, destroying the Black Comet, just seeing Shadow in the control room of the Ark, just looking out the window, holding a picture of Gerald Robotnik and Maria, just staring at the picture a second, then looking off into space, and then just simply saying, "Goodbye forever, Shadow the Hedgehog." and throwing the picture behind him as he walks away. Like, man, that to this day makes me cry. And it kind of fits because this is the part where I say mostly and kind of. It mostly fits because after this, Shadow was never really himself ever again. He was never really a main character ever again. He was never really Shadow the motherfucking Hedgehog ever again. I say kinda dash mostly because literally just 1 year later we got Sonic 06. And, well, honestly, Shadow's handled really well in that game. Like, Shadow is Shadow in that game. But it's also Sonic 06 we're talking about. One of the worst games in the franchise. Though, personally, in my opinion, if it wasn't so damn glitchy, I actually think it would be pretty good. Like, in my opinion, I think Sonic 06 would be like a... I think it'd be like a 7 out of 10. I'm being generous. Like, I think it'd be like a 6.5 out of 10 if it wasn't so insanely buggy and glitchy. Like, just fix all the glitches, and it could definitely be a above average game. But yeah. Okay, let me replace this. Like, it would be so much better if it just didn't have any bugs. Like, that's the primary issue. The secondary issue is the story is not bad, but weird. Like, I know Sonic is never really known for being normal, but, like, this is just strange, and just very out of tone. I just now remembered there was a tangent about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX at the very beginning of this video I completely missed and was gonna go on, but just kind of got sidetracked. We'll do that in the next one if I remember. If I remember to, of course. You understand, yes? So, yeah, I think we'll just call that here for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part.